In the land of Egypt, hundreds of years after Joseph, the Israelites weren't living the high life anymore. They were slaves, toiling under Pharaoh's rule, building his cities with aching backs and heavy hearts. Pharaoh, fearing their growing numbers, even ordered the killing of all newborn Hebrew boys. But a brave mother named Jochebed wouldn't let that happen. She hid her baby boy in a basket among the reeds by the Nile River. Pharaoh's daughter found the basket and, touched by the crying child, decided to raise him as her own. This child, named Moses, grew up in Pharaoh's palace, unaware of his true heritage. While tending sheep in the desert, Moses encountered a sight that would change everything: a bush that burned but wasn't consumed by flames. Through this burning bush, God spoke to Moses, revealing himself as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God had a mission for Moses: lead the Israelites out of Egypt and to a land flowing with milk and honey, the Promised Land. Hesitant but determined, Moses, with his brother Aaron by his side, approached Pharaoh. They presented God's demand: let the Israelites go. But Pharaoh, a stubborn ruler, refused. In response, God unleashed a series of 10 devastating plagues upon Egypt, each one a forceful reminder of Pharaoh's defiance. From the Nile turning to blood to locust swarms devouring everything green, Egypt suffered greatly. Finally, after the horrific plague of death that passed over houses marked with lamb's blood, Pharaoh relented. The Israelites, finally free, left Egypt in a hurry, taking only unleavened bread with them. But their freedom was short-lived. Pharaoh had a change of heart and sent his army after them. The Israelites found themselves trapped between the pursuing army and the Red Sea. Fear gripped their hearts. But then, a miracle. God himself parted the Red Sea, allowing the Israelites to walk across on dry ground. Pharaoh's army wasn't so lucky. They followed in pursuit, only to be swallowed by the crashing waves as the sea returned to its normal state. The scorching sun beat down on the vast expanse of sand as the Israelites plodded forward. The euphoria of escape from Egypt had faded, replaced by a gnawing hunger and a thirst that parched their throats. Grumbles rippled through the crowd, a symphony of discontent. "We are hungry. We are thirsty. We miss the food we had in Egypt," they cried. Moses, their leader, stood resolute, his faith a beacon in the desert's despair. He reminded them of God's miraculous intervention in Egypt, the plagues that crippled the land, and the parting of the Red Sea. But doubt had taken root, a weed choking their trust. One day, despair reached a boiling point. In a brazen act of rebellion, a group of Israelites defied God, melting down their golden jewelry and molding it into an idol, a golden calf. They bowed before it, attributing their liberation to this false god. Moses, heartbroken by their betrayal, descended from Mount Sinai where he had received God's commandments. Witnessing the idolatry, his anger flared. He smashed the golden calf to pieces, a stark reminder of their forbidden worship. However, God's love for his people remained. He forgave their transgression but demanded consequences. Yet, even in their punishment, he provided. Manna, a miraculous food, rained down from the sky each morning, sustaining them on their journey. Water miraculously flowed from a rock struck by Moses' staff, quenching their thirst. Despite these signs of God's mercy, the Israelites continued to stumble. There were rebellions against Moses' leadership, moments of despair, and yearning for the familiar comforts of Egypt. Yet, through it all, God remained faithful. He guided them with a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night, a constant reminder of his presence. The Israelites' journey from Egypt to the Promised Land wasn't a cakewalk. Despite witnessing God's miracles and escaping slavery, they faced challenges like hunger, thirst, and doubt. This period tested their faith and highlighted the importance of trusting in God's guidance and provision even during hardships.